This is Jennifer of Vamp Jenn's Corner, and welcome to Vamp Jenn's Crypt. So the first part of my crypt I'd like to show you is what I like to call the apothecary shop, where one can enjoy a libation and mystical brew. In this part of my home, it's bathed in a lot of gold. I have a lightly stocked bar cart. On the wall are pieces that I got from Michael's about a couple of Halloween seasons ago, and they had a lot of occult themed inspired pieces and a lot of gold pieces. I felt that it tied really nicely in this area to give it a sort of Art Deco feel. I'm a huge admirer of the Queen Mary in Long Beach, California, and if you've been on the ship, they have an Art Deco bar, and it has a very gold-toned 1950s, 1940s vintage feel, which I have a big appreciation for, so I feel like this corner of my home kind of captures that Art Deco spirit. Now I want to show you what I call my wall of fame. I am a huge admirer of Marilyn Monroe, and I have my hallway dedicated to mainly photos of all Marilyn. I was 18 when I first saw her in a film. I watched Sunlight Get Hot, and ever since then I've been hooked. So I have photo stills of her on set on How to Marry a Millionaire. There's Bus Stop. There's also the 7-Year Itch. I even have a few photos of Jane Mansfield, and Audrey Hepburn also makes an appearance on my wall of fame. So yeah, it's my little treasure when I want to feel and get that fabulous energy. I just kind of take a glance over my wall. So also in my hallway, I have a few dark art pieces that I've collected over the years. These that I have right here are by an artist called Yayu. Her style is dark surrealism. So I bought a collection of hers that's called Romancing with Anatomy, and her pieces are done so beautifully and they have such a finesse to them. And when I saw this collection that she had come out with a couple years ago, I knew I wanted to buy it as a set. So I have each of the pieces here hanging in my hallway, and they're really precious to me. Now I want to welcome you to my living room, or as I like to call it, the Vamp Lounge. So behind me, the wallpaper might look familiar to some of you out there that follow me. This is where I do a lot of my recordings and take photos. So I am an admirer of, besides vampires, I'm sure most of you know, I also love Gothic style and the Victorian period. So I feel like in this area, the Vamp Lounge, it kind of ties everything together and embodies all of those three things in one. This wallpaper I absolutely love. It is kind of like a deep purple, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's textured, so it's really nice when you like run your fingers across it. And then up on the wall, I have sconces that are next to this gorgeous gold frame mirror, which I had to put parchment paper on, or else you would see what was reflecting off of it. So that's usually not covered, but there's a mirror behind that parchment paper. And I also have these chandeliers that kind of are off to the side with flickering lights that we found on Amazon. So I feel like it gives it a very just macabre vampire feel. I like to, feel that you can picture just, a vampire lives here. So it's just, this is where, me and my husband will relax, and after a long day, wind down, plop ourselves on the couch. We dim the lights, turn on the chandeliers, and put on a good horror film. And I'm never without my trusty Nightmare Before Christmas blanket with Jack on the front. This has become my security blanket, so I am never without it. Even in the peak of summer, I will have it around me, propping me up. So I just really love this little lounge area. It's comfortable and just has all my favorite things. Okay, so I'm really excited to show off this part of my home. So if Vamp Jenn's Corner is a physical manifestation, this right here is the physical manifestation of Vamp Jenn's Corner. So I write a lot about dark art on my blog, and so this is my dark art wall in progress. I'm, continuing to add to it, but I have pieces. These are prints that I've collected when I've attended dark art shows. females. So these two right here are by an artist named Rick D'Enzo Blanco, and I got these two prints from a dark art gallery here in Long Beach called the Dark Art Emporium. He has a lot of artwork that features these just macabre females, and I really liked these two. This one right here on the left is Incantation, and then this is Heroine of Darkness. The third piece right here in the corner is by an artist who hails from Japan. Her name is Meimaro, and I actually had the fortune of attending her exhibit at the Dark Art Emporium. This is from a solo show she did called Devotion Bound, and I love blood. I've had a fascination with blood since I was a kid, thus my love for vampires, no surprise there. So I just really was just obsessed with the way she has the thorns coming out of the body. But yeah, she's an amazing artist. So I had to get a print of hers. And then down below, I have this vampire piece by an artist named Robert Heckman, and this is called Tremble So Wicked. So this is actually from a vampire exhibit that the Mystic Museum did a couple years back. In this middle part of my wall, this piece is called Bloody Mary by an artist named Peter Mihaychuk, and I got this print from Hyena Gallery. And then back over here, this is by D.W. Friedendahl, and if you're familiar with the Disney Haunted Mansion attraction, then you know this is the famous Madame Leota. And he actually did an exhibit at the Dark Art Emporium, I believe it was 2018, and he did a Haunted Mansion themed exhibit. It was to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Disney attraction. So I snagged the Madame Leota print to add to my dark art wall. And then I have this here, which this is by Shane Isakowski. He's an amazing dark artist, and this is called She Hid It With Her Hair. So I have this piece. This was a piece that he exhibited at Hyena Gallery in a group art show. And then on my cabinet here, I have a lot of just my macabre treasures and trinkets. I love The Nightmare Before Christmas. I was 8 years old when the movie came out, and my mom took me to see it. And I always say that when I saw that film, that is what started my entire fascination with the macabre. So I have my collector's item. This is Jack Skellington in a coffin. He never comes out, he stays in there. And then I also have this art piece, which I don't know who the artist is, but I got this, this was probably more than 10 years ago, from a Tim Burton exhibit that LACMA did, and it was showcasing all of like Tim Burton's works, pieces from like his film sets. So I got that print from that gallery, and then I just have like Jack Skellington candle holder, and then this is my book collection. I have Edgar Allan Poe. I also have these awesome books. I interviewed Joseph Vargo, who is a Gothic artist, and he also does dark ambient music. And when I interviewed him, he was kind enough to gift me a few of his books. So I have his art book, Born of the Night, as well as a few of his fiction books. And then, of course, it wouldn't be a Vamp Jenn library without books on vampires. So I have several books on vampires. I have a few on the occult. And then I also have that vampire book that I had mentioned earlier. This is by Johnny Coffin, who is a collector of vampire memorabilia. And he put together this biography about the original Glamour Ghoul. So I got this to add to my collection. It's amazing. I highly recommend you getting it if you are a vampire fan. And I also have Anne Rice books, a couple of interviews that people had with her. And then this is actually the newest addition to my library. As of this recording, last night I attended a vampire presentation with Dacre Stoker, and he's the great-grandnephew of Bram Stoker, who wrote the notorious novel Dracula. So he was kind enough to also sign it, and he made it out to Vamp Jenn. So really excited that I was able to not only see him present, but also have him sign one of his books for me. And then also I have this statue that I actually got when I went to India. I went to India for a couple weeks when I was in college and took a couple courses out there. And this is actually one of the pieces that I came back home with. So this is a really important and just special piece for me. I have a lot of appreciation for Indian culture and Hindu spiritual beliefs. So I was really excited to be able to bring that home with me. And here I have little vampire decor. I think I had got this from Michael's a couple years back. So just fun vampire pieces. And this candle here, I absolutely love. This is from a brand called Sui Generis Magica. The maker sells a lot of occult wares. Definitely, I recommend looking her up. But I got that beautiful candle from her. So yeah, this is just my cabinet of curiosities, and I'm continuing to add to it. And glad I was able to share that with you. So I mentioned that my dark art wall is in progress, and I do have a few art prints that I have yet to hang on my wall, but I still wanted to share the works with you as well as the artists. So this is another piece that I have by Peter Mahachuk, and this is called Poison. I got this art print from Hyena Gallery a few years back. I also have these adorable prints by Curtis Rajkovic, and they are part of his Wicked Damsels series. They are so freaking cute. I love them, and I really can't wait to find tiny frames for these to hang them on my wall. These I think I got from Midsummer Scream last summer. So I have those. This is a super cute macabre kitty. I have two cats, so when I saw this, I had to get it. This is by an artist named Jasmine Jude. She was vending at Goth Night at Mirrors Gallery. So this print is by Jasmine Jude. And then these next two pieces, these two artists were kind enough to gift these to me. The first one is by Stephanie Lopez. She goes by Sal Designs on her social media. It's a gorgeous piece, and she has a lot of other lovely pieces too. And this is by Adam Malero. I believe this one was called Stone Sitter. I hope I didn't get that incorrect. But I thought this was just a really cool sketch. And then I also have another piece by Shane Isakowski. I had showed a framed piece earlier, and this is titled Melody. This was actually part of a vampire series he did, and he did 12 vampires according to the zodiac, and I believe this is Virgo. It's not my zodiac sign, I'm a Libra, but I just loved the color scheme and the purple. I've got purple going on in the Vamp Lounge, so I felt like it tied in really nicely with my existing decor. So this is by Shane Isakowski. And then this final one is by an amazing artist, David Van Gogh. He did an art exhibit, a solo art exhibit at the Dark Art Emporium back in 2021 called Infernal the Denouement, and just fine art pieces that are absolutely beautiful. So I really am excited to get this framed and up on my dark art wall as well. So those are my other prints that will soon be added to Vamp Jenn's Crypts dark art wall. I hope you all enjoyed this tour of my crypt. Thank you for joining me. And I'm excited to announce that this home tour is the launch of a new blog series I'm bringing to Vamp Jenn's Corner called Vamp Jenn's Crypts. I'll be taking you inside the homes of some of the spookiest people I know, sharing photos of their crypts and interviewing them about their macabre home decor style. This is a project that I have been wanting to do for the past 2 years, so I'm excited to finally bring it to Vamp Jenn's Corner. And now Vamp Jenn must retire to her coffin, so thank you again for joining me, and until next time, stay out in macabre.